Hey, you guys, this is Ashley Michelle, and I am so excited to talk to you today about how to quickly process your negative emotions. And the reason why this is so important is because I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but like if something happens and it's like one thing after another, like just keeps going wrong, right? And then by the end of the day, you're just so frustrated and you're like, today was the worst day ever. There's a reason for that, and it's because negative emotions attract more negative things into your life, which attract more negative emotions, right? So it's like you are a magnet for these negative things to happen to you when you're in that lower vibrational frequency. So the way that I'm going to teach you today how to process that and how to work through it. So when a negative emotion comes up, you're able to quickly move through it. So you're going to feel that negative emotion. We're going to neutralize it, and then we're going to add a positive emotion. Okay. And so I'm super excited about this process. This is something that I do every single day. I teach my kids how to do it. It just shifts so quickly into, things can get out of hand so fast, right? Like when bad things start to happen, and it's so easy to get stuck in that. And we've actually been conditioned to feel bad, right? Like it's like normal to feel bad. But that doesn't have to be our baseline. That doesn't have to be our normal constant state. Like we can feel bad things, we can have those bad moments, and then we can move through them and process them to move into a higher, better feeling, right? And that's the goal, right? Is to be happy. That's why we're here. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. So let me just that super fast, and then pull up what I've got for you. Okay. And if you can hear Wells in the background, it's because he was supposed to be napping right now and he's not. So this is what we're going to do today. Okay, so this is what happens when we feel triggered, and we're going to be talking about how to quickly process those negative emotions. All right, so we're going to start. These are the different tools I'm going to teach you today. The first one is we're going to be neutralizing our negative emotions with positive emotions. The next step, or the next thing you can do, is reframe your limiting beliefs. We're going to be adding in higher vibrational thoughts, and then we're going to repeat affirmations while kinesthetically processing. So we're going to go through each of those together. All right. So number one, you can see that. This is how we're going to neutralize those negative emotions. So basically, when something bad happens, when you feel triggered, the first thing I want you to do is you're going to label the negative emotion that you're feeling. So whether that's anger, sadness, it can be so basic. Like you don't have to go into detail. You could feel frustration, overwhelmed. You could feel shame, right? Guilt. Any sort of negative emotion, like we just want to label it. We want to get to the bottom of like, okay, is this really how I'm feeling? And then kind of just go through that process of like, why am I feeling this way? Is this really the emotion that I'm feeling? Is there another emotion that maybe it's connected to? So we want to learn about as much as we can about how we're feeling. And from there, we're going to identify the opposite positive emotion. So if we're feeling shame is something that makes you feel almost like not worthy, right? So like the opposite of shame would be maybe feeling worthy. And so we're going to start out by saying, okay, well, I'm feeling shame right now. I can't feel worthy. Like, how could I feel worthy if I'm feeling shame, right? So the reason why this process works, and you have to trust me, is because if you're feeling bad, you can't jump from feeling bad to feeling good. It's really hard. It's really hard to just pretend like, that negative emotion doesn't exist, right? You actually have to take yourself through this process and move into the better feeling, okay? So we're going to start out by saying, like, there's no way I can feel proud right now. There's no way I can feel worthy right now. There's no way I can feel joy right now. I can't feel it. I don't want to feel it. How could I feel this better emotion when I'm feeling this bad? Right? So how can I feel worthy when I'm feeling shame? Like, okay. And then the next step is when we start to neutralize. Then we're going to say, well, maybe I could try to feel now, right? Like I could try. It's possible, right? Like it's possible that I could feel worthy right now. What would it be like to feel worthy right now? You're kind of trying it on, right? It's like you're in the dressing room, you've got some clothes, like those positive emotions are there, and you're like, okay, I could do this. I could try to see how it would feel to feel this. And then, you're putting that emotion on and you're saying, well, what would it be like to feel worthy right now? What would it be like? How would I feel? How would I act? What would I be doing? What would I be thinking? It could be possible to feel worthy. Like it's always possible, right? It could be possible for that to happen. I can start to feel worthy. And then this is where you'll notice a shift in your actual feelings and in your actual emotions, right? Because now we're starting to swing that pendulum up toward positive emotion, okay? And then we're gonna say, I can start to feel worthy. Like, sure, I could start, I could try. I can, like it's possible, I can feel worthy. And then I feel worthy, right? So this is the process that I want you to practice. Anytime you start to feel a negative emotion, this is just one way to neutralize that in the moment that you're triggered. Okay, so the next one is we're going to talk about adding in a higher vibration thought. So on this chart to the left, this is a scale of consciousness by Dr. David R. Hawkins, and he wrote the book Power versus Force, and he has a couple other really good books that I love. But this talks about how basically, if you were to look in a microscope and, look at your cell, a cell from your body, you would go and you would be able to look and see that everything is energy, right? Like you are vibrating at a frequency, okay? And so is the chair you're sitting on, and so is your house, and so is your car, and so is everything in the world is just, it's moving, it's energy, everything is energy. And if that's true, then what happens is when you're vibrating on a low frequency, you're going to continue to attract things on that exact vibration, right? So, and this is what I'm talking about when I say that you have this constant state of vibration. Like most people vibrate like around like a 250, 300, right? And that's okay. Like that just means that you go throughout your day and bad things happen and good things happen. And like, you're pretty neutral, right? Like you're in like this neutral frequency. Now there will be times in your life where that goes lower. There will be times when that goes higher, but usually that kind of evens out to the baseline homeostasis, which is comfortable. And that homeostasis is comfortable for you. And it's because that's what you're used to, right? And so you'll notice that you come back to this baseline after feeling really good or after feeling really bad. And that's where you kind of want to be. So the whole point of this exercise and the whole point of everything that I do, honestly, is I believe that we can shift that constant frequency. I feel like we can shift our homeostasis and bump that up so that we can start manifesting better things that are attracting, on a higher frequency, right? So that's why if you are feeling bad, more bad things happen. If you're feeling good, then more good things happen, right? And so it's like we have to shift the belief and we have to shift the emotions and the thoughts that are connected to your frequency. All right. So, Wells is like trying to get my laptop. Okay. So, when you're looking at this scale, right? So let's pretend like your baseline is right around 300. I feel like that's probably what a typical family, a typical person with a typical normal life is vibrating usually around 300. Okay. That's like you pay your bills, you're comfortable, like nothing too bad happens, nothing too good happens. All right. So if you look over here, you'll see that down, like anger is 150. Okay. Fear is 100. Grief 75. Guilt 30. Shame is 20. Like, so when you're feeling those lower emotions, can you say hi? Can you say hi? Okay. So, basically what happens is when you feel a lower emotion, that is when you're vibrating at a lower frequency. So the way that you're going to add a higher vibration is you're going to ask yourself, because love is a really high vibration and gratitude is a really high vibration. So you're going to look at your situation or how you're feeling, and you're going to ask yourself, okay, what can I love about this? How can I add love to this situation? Or what can I be grateful for about it? And this is easier said than done, right? What? This is easier said than done because a lot of us, it's like we go through this hard thing and it's like, well, how can I feel grateful for this? Like I am so mad about it, or I'm so frustrated, or I'm so depressed about it. And it's really hard to imagine adding something good in. But I promise you that when you do that, you will start to see shifts because you're no longer letting that lower frequency control you. You're no longer letting that event in your life that is vibrating at a lower, like a lower level. You're no longer letting that be your story. So you're the one who's changing your story and how you feel about it. So For example, like if you're going through an intense custody battle, right? Like there's not a lot to be grateful for in that situation, but you could always be grateful that you have children to fight over. You could always be grateful for, the willingness of your attorney to work with you. You can always be grateful for your ex for giving you your children that you love so much. Like there are always things, and I know that that's not an easy thing to say, but I just know personally in my life, like anytime that I choose to see a situation through the lens of love, it changes everything for me. And so that is why I'm sharing that tool with you. Okay, next one. Okay, so how to reframe your limiting beliefs. First of all, I want to talk to you about what is a limiting belief. So basically, your negative emotions are connected to subconscious beliefs that were programmed between the ages of 0 to 7 or inherited through generational patterns. So what that means is you have an emotion, you have an emotion that's connected to an experience or a generational pattern, right? We are not on the right side. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Okay, so what did you do? What does that mean? Okay, I don't know how to. Hopefully, you can still hear me, and he didn't just do something with the volume. Hold on, let me just. I mean, it looks like we're fine, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, so how to reframe your limiting beliefs. What was I talking about? All right. Okay, so your subconscious beliefs. So when you have an emotion like anger, there was a time in your life. Did you go get your book? Go get your magnets. Go get your toys. There was a time in your life between the ages of 0 to 7 that you felt anger for the first time. Like, well, I'm angry right now because I'm not holding him, right? Like he is 1 year old. He's 1 year old. Say hi. Look. And he has felt the emotion anger. And he has probably programmed some beliefs about anger already. And just this morning, in fact, he got really angry because I told him it was time to go drop Nellie off at preschool. And he literally threw himself on the floor and like kicked and screamed because he was so angry that he didn't want to go get the car. So what happens is usually we have parents who love us, but they also don't always, they're not aware, right? Like they're not doing it on purpose. They're not giving us these limiting beliefs on purpose, right? It's true. Like for me, Wells experienced anger because I needed to go drop Nellie off at preschool, right? Like I don't feel like I'm a bad parent for doing that, but I do feel like he programmed that emotion that connected to that experience that I wanted to do something different than what my mom wanted to do, right? And so that doesn't make either of us bad or wrong. It just means that he now has this limiting belief around maybe, when he's a 30-year-old, he's going to feel like, oh, I can't do whatever I want because of that one experience when I was 1 year old and my mom told me that I couldn't keep playing and I had to go pick up my sister, right? Like he doesn't remember that. He's not going to remember that, but his subconscious mind will. His belief system is going to be programmed that way until he's able to clear it. So all of that to say, when a limiting belief comes up, you're not always going to know it, but it is connected to an emotion. So when an emotion comes up like anger, you're going to ask, at what age did I feel this emotion? Sometimes you'll get, you're going to have to peel back some layers with this, right? Because obviously we all experience anger probably thousands, millions of times in our life, maybe. So we're going to try and find out what's the first time I felt this emotion. And you might need to clear more than once, obviously, but we're going to work through it and we're going to do it one at a time, and work through it together. So at what age did I feel this emotion? And you're just going to trust your intuition, whatever comes through. So like 3 years old, is it connected to an experience? Yes or no? Do I need to know anything about that experience? Do I need to uncover exactly what it is? A lot of the time the answer is going to be no. Sometimes the answer is going to be yes. It just depends. So where do I feel it in my body? Your emotions become trapped. Your body literally stores them for you so that it can remember when that happens again. And that's the whole reason why your subconscious is what it is. It's because it's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to help you to remember that the next time you feel anger, your subconscious mind is aware of that. I don't know what he's doing with this. Oh. Okay, we are in like a little craft room that has a sink and he just turned it on. Okay, all right. Where do I feel it in my body? Okay, so for me, anger, like I feel in my neck. I feel so much anger in my neck sometimes, you guys. And when the anger comes up, I'm like, okay, I feel it in my neck. When you realize where it's coming from, you add, just imagine adding light, like just a laser beam of light into that area of your body as you're processing it. Okay. And then you can ask, who did I get this from? Like, did I get this from my mom, my dad, my teacher, my brother, my sister, my friend? And then obviously, do I need to know anything else about it for it to clear? And so the whole point of this is to get to the bottom of some of these limiting beliefs so that when the pattern comes up again, when the emotion comes up again, you're curious about it. You're not reactive anymore and you're empowered. So then you know, okay, like I'm feeling this negative belief or this negative emotion, it's connected to this belief, and now I can clear and process it, right? And then obviously, if you take one of my courses, I do a lot of subconscious reprogramming through guided images. And the way that that works is your subconscious mind is then able to rewire ways to be more empowered with the beliefs instead of having negative limiting beliefs. You can rewire those to become positive associations. Okay, sorry. We're doing our best here. Okay. Get your magnet. No, go get your magnet. I brought like so many toys in here for him to play with. He still does not want it. Your magnet. Yeah. Okay. So what is kinesthetic processing? Basically, part of my method is that I believe that you are embodied for a reason. You have this physical reality. And you can use your body to process these things for you. Oh, before again. Okay. Oh, here, look. Can I finish doing this and I'll give you here? Look, you want to play PBS Kids? I'll see. You want to watch PBS Kids? Okay, let's find it. Yes. Okay, let me set him up for the game. We're almost done. I just really wanted to send this out to you guys, and now I feel bad because I should have waited for him to take a nap, but I've been meaning to record it for a couple days now. And so I didn't want to wait any longer. Okay, there you go. All right, let's finish up. All right, what is kinesthetic processing? So basically any, like I said a few minutes ago, that your emotions are stored in your body. So then you can use your body to release those emotions using this process. And so the way that we're going to do that is basically anything physical. So journaling, scribbling. So like if you're writing things down, if you're writing down your experiences, if you're writing down how you feel, that's processing it. Breathing, so like deep breaths. Anytime you do breath work, we have crying, which also laughing is one. Like you can laugh to process, which I do that actually a lot. I love laughing to process things. I think it's so fun. Exercising, so you can set an intention. Like if you go for a walk, you can say like, okay, when I'm on this walk, I want to clear, beliefs related to this experience or whatever. Yawning is another one, and then tapping. So this is why, in fact, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can make my screen bigger. Uh-oh, what happened? What happened? There you go, it's back on. Oh wait, hold on just a sec. So tapping is a method of processing using the energy meridians in your body. There you go. There you go. There you go. And so if you're familiar with EFT tapping, you can do it that way. Look here. You can do the EFT tapping in different points of your body, or you can use it. What is wrong? I hope this isn't too distracting for you. Sorry. Look what happened. There you go. So what I'll do a lot of the time is I will just tap right here. So these are your oh shoot. I don't have the word for it anymore. It's the something point. Oh gosh, my brain. I know it, and it'll come to me as soon as I'm done. Okay, so basically, if you go down from your collarbone right here, you're gonna find a point that hurts, and it hurts when you touch it. Right there is where you're gonna want to tap. That's my favorite place to tap, right here. And it just feels so good. Literally, like you don't have to even do anything. Just close your eyes and tap here. Oh, and it just makes you want to take a deep breath. I love it. So basically, anything physical will help you process emotions in your body. Okay, so the reason why I talked about kinesthetic processing is because we're going to talk about using affirmations and just guided statements, like tapping scripts, to process things. So basically, you're going to be tapping or journaling or whatever at the same time that you're repeating these statements. And so the reason why that works is because instead of just an affirmation that you're using like your logical brain to go through and to talk about, you're including your body into that process, right? So it's like that integration that helps it move faster. So when the negative emotion is something like, you can say something like sadness, right? Even though I feel sad, I deeply love and accept myself. And you're saying this while you're tapping, okay? It can be safe to feel, and that would be like the opposite emotion, right? So like it can be safe to feel happy. It can be safe to feel joy. I honor this feeling of sadness and hold space for it to process fully. So if you guys want to take a deep breath and just tap while I talk to you about this, we can do sadness. I surrender this feeling of sadness to the love of the universe. If you're spiritual or religious, I guess, this is where I feel like we bring the atonement of Jesus Christ in, right? So we're surrendering the feeling to the Savior to process this for us, right? I'm open to receiving divine guidance and intervention. I am open to feeling joy. I'm open to feeling gratitude. I'm open to feeling love. Dear Heavenly Father, help me to see the situation through the lens of love. Help me to feel this emotion and process it. I'm grateful for this feeling of sadness showing up for me so that I can heal it. So that's adding gratitude. And then I choose to see this story differently, because really all our emotions are, they're just feelings, and we're supposed to feel them while we're here, right? And it's healthy to feel those emotions, but the story that we have attached to the emotion is not healthy. So that's why when we remove the stories from the feeling, when we separate the feeling from the story, we can start to move forward and process that in a healthy way. And then we don't stay stuck in that lower vibration. We're able to find joy and gratitude and peace and love while we're going through those negative things. Okay. And then this is kind of the whole thing. This is what it's all about. It's what are those negative emotions trying to tell you, right? Like it's showing up in your life for a reason. And I fully believe that our negative emotions are blessings and gifts for us to be able to work through them. And they're showing up so we can clear them. And when we clear them, we can have more joy. We can have a better life, and we can live in a higher frequency, which will attract better things into our life. And that's the whole point of us being here, right? It's to clear those generational patterns for our ancestors and for our children. And it's for us to not stay stuck in that challenge or that struggle or that, that mindset. It's for us to be able to move past that and to move forward and to have better things in our life, because that is the purpose of life, is to have joy. All right. I'm so glad you were here. Sorry about the little Wellesley boy distraction. Oh, yeah. Say thank you for being here. Can you say bye? Thank you. All right. We'll see ya. See ya. Can you say I love you? Say I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.